Welcome to Daily Crime Case. This is a case of Thelma Gaston, who has gone missing for years. Please, if you are new here, subscribe and hit the like button. For more than 4 decades, she had no name. Her remains were discovered in a shallow grave in California in 1981. Investigators knew she had been murdered, but they didn't know who she was. And for more than 40 years, that mystery remained unsolved. Then, in 2026, a breakthrough in DNA technology finally gave this woman something she had been missing for decades: her identity. Her name was Thelma Gaston, and the story behind her disappearance is even more disturbing. What did you think at this point? Put it in the comment below. So in June 1981, Thelma Gaston was 80 years old and living in the Los Angeles area. She was a successful businesswoman who had accumulated a fortune through buying and selling repossessed properties. By this point, her wealth was estimated to be worth millions of dollars. But then something strange happened. Thelma disappeared. A note was reportedly left on the door of her home saying that she had gone out to look for her cat. But she never came back. And the people who knew her didn't believe she had simply walked away. Investigators soon focused on a man named Lawrence Remsen. Remsen was considerably younger than Gaston and had become closely connected to her. According to reporting, people around Gaston had described the two as romantically involved, and marriage had even been discussed. But investigators began discovering troubling evidence. Documents and letters appearing to authorize Remsen to control parts of Gaston's finances came under suspicion. Authorities also alleged that some of Gaston's signatures had been forged, and investigators found evidence that Remsen had attempted to gain access to her property and money. Then things became even more suspicious. Remsen disappeared too. Eventually, Remsen was arrested and charged with Gaston's murder. But there was a huge problem. There was no body. Prosecutors nevertheless built their case against him. Remsen eventually claimed that Gaston had died naturally, and that he had disposed of her body. But prosecutors argued that he had intentionally killed her and attempted to profit from her disappearance. Remsen was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. But there was still one unanswered question. Months after Gaston disappeared, on November 28, 1981, someone gathering firewood near the Sugarloaf Mountain and Pinyon Crest area made a horrifying discovery. There was a shallow grave. Inside were the severely decomposed remains of a woman. Investigators tried to determine who she was, but the condition of the remains made identification extremely difficult. So she became known simply as Jane Doe. For more than 4 decades, that's how she remained. No name, no confirmed identity, and no connection to the woman who had disappeared from Los Angeles. Then came a new opportunity. The Riverside County Sheriff's Coroner's Bureau received funding through a grant designed to help investigators revisit unidentified remains cases. Advances in forensic science also meant investigators could try techniques that weren't available in 1981. In May 2026, investigators used investigative genetic genealogy, together with dental records, to identify the remains. The DNA investigation eventually pointed to the Gaston family, and the mystery was finally solved. The Jane Doe was Thelma Gaston. After nearly 45 years, investigators had finally put a name to the remains. The discovery didn't necessarily change the outcome of the original murder case. Lawrence Remsen had already been convicted and sentenced to life in prison. But it answered a question that had remained unanswered for generations. Where was Thelma Gaston? She had been lying unidentified for more than 4 decades. And it took modern DNA technology and investigative genetic genealogy to finally reveal the truth. A woman who disappeared in 1981 finally had her name returned to her in 2026. Thelma Gaston. After 45 years, she was finally found. See you in the next one.